the fuck is going on, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Blitz with Blake. I'm here with a very, very special guest. He bats left. I believe he throws right. The living legend, blonde, curly hair, standing at 6'9", approximately. That's a guess. But the general manager of the Fond du Lac Dockspiders, Chris Ward.
Thanks, Blake. Thanks for having me. It was
Are you
good
6'9"?
Madden stats for me. No. In Madden, I would be, but not here.
Of course. Playing tight end at 6'9", 280, shredded.
Boost the ego. You know it.
Oh, shit. Chris, I got a lot of questions.
All right.
A lot.
What you got?
First of all, tell everyone a little bit about what the Northwoods League is, because I did an episode partially about the Northwoods League and about Korean baseball as well, was involved in there, because at the time COVID was happening. That was the only thing that was going on.
I watched a few of those games. Yeah,
we were picking favorite teams. It was a whole thing because nothing else is going on. But I talked about Northwoods League baseball slightly, and some of the guys that are involved with the show, like Bogard, Robbie, some of those guys, they're from, California, Colorado. They're not familiar with what the Northwoods League is. So kind of explain what it is.
Yeah, so Summerwood Bat League, a lot of premier guys have come through. Curtis Granderson, or Jordan Zimmerman, Chris Scherzer, just to name a few. There's a bunch of others, but basically it's the number 2 summer league that universities kind of offer their players into, get more exposure in hopes of getting drafted. We've had a few scouts come out from various MLB teams, and then it's a lot of top end talent though, for sure. So kind of gives you a good minor league experience too. The guys take a bus everywhere and come home usually, at least for most of our games, since we're right in the middle of all the teams, they'll come home that night. So yeah, really good exposure and really good talent.
I agree. It was one hell of a ride. For those of you that listen, whether you're watching live or you tune in on all podcast platforms, I was a part of the Fond du Lac Dockspiders the year we got a fatty ring, and I was a starting pitcher. No, I'm just kidding. I was the grounds crew intern. And that's where I met Chris. One hell of a ride. What a weird year that was.
Yeah, not as weird as this one, but definitely sweet. Starting to think we're kind of like the Giants. We got every 2 years we're winning a championship. So hopefully we can get another one this year and kind of break that.
How'd you guys do this season?
Good. Yeah, took home another championship. Fortunate enough to have a season. About 25% capacity, so had the spacing and all the seats and hand sanitizer stations all across the ballpark. Staff members were wearing masks. We were wiping down hot spots like railings, stairwells, bathrooms, pretty much all the new norms in the world right now. But yeah, definitely fought through it, made having a season worth it. Took home another one. So
what was it like? Like, what were some of the struggles you guys faced as far as COVID, aside from, doing the precautionary measures as far as wiping down railings, things like that? Like, from your stance, were you scared, like, when COVID happened, when you're like, oh, God?
I think everyone had some sort of a fear, just not knowing what it really was. And we know, being a sister team to the Timber Rattlers, them canceling their season a little bit later on, but we were planning on playing the whole time, given that we're a Northwoods League and it's a little bit different. And I think Timber Rattlers obviously have had more restrictions just because of the MLB ties, and that's how they got their guys. They got them from the Brewers, and us having college kids that kind of come in, I think made it very much possible for us to have a season. But we took all the protocols, like I mentioned, with the hand sanitizers. We were temp checking players when they came in. If they called and they had a fever or something, we were putting them in quarantine. And luckily, we didn't have any outbreaks or cases throughout the whole summer. also kind of help their younger guys. So kind of preach to them, stay with your host families, make sure you're not putting yourself in danger. But yeah, it was
don't be hitting Slim
yeah,
and Chubbs.
Yep. Not every time I hear my phone ring, it was definitely at least my heart skipped a beat, just making sure everything's good. But got through it.
That's all you can do, really.
Yeah, it's all good.
So, and you guys, this is a question I had when I was looking on social media. I had another question that I'm going to ask in a second, but I got to ask this one now while it's fresh in the old noggin. So how was, because like when the Dockspiders won it the year I was an intern, it was like the Summer College World Series or whatever the hell it's called at the time. What was it called this most recent year when you guys won?
Yeah, it was the Wisconsin-Illinois Pod Championship for us, since we had 6 teams, including us, and then Rockford was the other one.
So did all teams participate this year or no?
Not everyone. So that was pretty much the Wisconsin teams. I got to pull back some memories here, but I think it was Wausau, La Crosse, Rapids. I'm spacing on some. Rockford, obviously us, Green Bay. So that was kind of they split it up 3-3. Michigan had their own division, basically did the same thing. And then Bismarck set up their own, basically had 3 teams at the one stadium. And Iowa and Minnesota had another division. So, yeah, there was probably 4 or 5 different leagues going on that were part of the Northwoods League, but it was definitely crazy. Never expected, that's for sure.
Bismarck's a random ass team, I feel like.
Yeah, they do well though.
They do.
It's a good spot. I mean, big city. Good to have a baseball team out there.
So I guess that answers my question. Like, because I was super confused when like I saw the whole championship thing, right? Like yeah, thank you, I appreciate that. Like that was kind of the one of the main questions I had too, was because I was confused on the layout personally. Like I had saw things on social media and I was like, Dockspiders are fucking going at her again, great. And then I saw you guys won, and I was like, that's sick again. But then I was super confused by the name. So I wonder, is it going to be back to normal this year, you think?
Yeah. I mean, we got the schedule out. That's what we're planning on. Thunder Bay is the only one because it's tougher to get over the border, and I guess they're having issues with vaccine distribution up there in Canada. So they're doing like a traveling team out of Minnesota, out of Minneapolis, the Twin Cities, to make sure the schedule doesn't have to change for anyone.
Thunder Bay. I forgot they were even in the league. I forget a lot of teams, I feel like, because we didn't play everyone when I was an intern.
Yeah, definitely the Great Plains is kind of a few teams, but
yeah,
not until the championship you really get to know a team.
Right. So I wanted to touch on a couple funny things that happened, at least while I was an intern.
Okay. Yep.
We had one hell of a time, buddy.
Yeah, I mean, spending that amount of hours, at the stadium, that's definitely strong bonding for sure.
Like the lightning strike in the field, that was crazy. That was crazy.
Yeah. I know Jenny, the ticket intern that year, had called me on Saturday because she opened up the box office for our 10-3 opening at the time. I was like, yeah, the power is out or the internet's down. And I was like, all right, well, let's just be a 24-hour thing or something, like head home. We'll just close it for the day and come in on Monday to find out that we had a lightning strike, 1 in a million odds, and we're scooping water out of the first base dugout. Thank God we had an off day and we had some time to recover and get things back in order. But Yeah,
Dude, no kidding.
there's so many things, I guess, that COVID season, like, definitely a lot of experience and just things I never would have thought I would have had to live through or go through or work through, being in minor league baseball.
So where were you at before you were with the Dockspiders?
So I was at Missoula, Montana. They were the Missoula Osprey at the time. Now they rebranded to the Paddleheads, Missoula Paddleheads. Back then they were a single A affiliate or rookie ball affiliate of the Diamondbacks. So I was like the promotions director out there, and then it was just an internship for 6 months, and then moved closer to home. Interviewed for the Timber Rattlers, found out about the Dockspiders. They were like, "Yeah, if you're willing to come up." So I jumped on at the start, got to see how Dockspiders all started up, and just another experience really that you get to see something from the ground up is awesome. And, yeah, it's been good since.
So, like when you started and the Dockspiders were first a thing, I remember because I was in college at the time when they started, and I remember there was like, how did the stadium come about? Like, were you a part of did you sit on meetings about like the stadium being built?
No, not too much. Ryan and Rob did most of that stuff.
Oh, shout out Ryan and Rob Dog.
Mary and crew too. Leadership were all
course.
in on that and just making sure how things were built and connections and stuff. So Ryan would go like every Tuesday and help with that meeting or be a part of that meeting. But definitely a stressful period, I guess, and making sure it was done before the season started up. But yeah, we were lucky. It all got done, and
It did. There was a lot of dirt, a lot of places.
yeah. I remember I drove through after the interview. I think it's probably October-ish in 2016, so just before the first season. And I got lost on Johnson Street. Like, I just GPS'd it, but it was like Harry Baker Field, Marion University, and it's giving me, it's in this area kind of deal.
Yeah,
I still think it's like, it's off. But I was driving back and forth, and I remember just looking at like Dental Associates and just going back and forth. Like, there's no field here. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, right. It's on the left, and then all of a sudden it's back on the right. You're like, wait, what the fuck?
Yeah, but got to know all the back roads and best routes in due time. That's for sure.
Dude, so do you guys have a Gator still?
Yeah. We rent it or lease it, trade it out.
Dude, I'm just curious because the Gator broke down when I was an intern, and I was super bummed about it.
The Smithco you're talking about, or?
No, the Gator. We had a Gator when I was an intern.
I don't remember. I mean, I know we did have a Gator, but
yeah, we had a Gator because we used to bring Spidey out. I don't remember what.
Yeah, Weaver.
Yeah, Weaver. I couldn't remember his name. His or her name. Yeah, I couldn't remember because we used to bring him out on the Gator, and he'd jump off, throw the first pitch. You guys don't have a Gator anymore?
No, we got one. Yeah, same kind of setup, that like kind of ATV looking thing, but it's got a back.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, when that thing breaks down, that's the worst.
I don't think it has since you left.
Unbelievable, yeah.
The Smithco, yes, like that breaks down.
That thing's trash.
Gets the job done.
It does.
Just there's a lot of tricks,
There's a lot of
life out of it.
Yeah, I used to have to call Seaver all the time and be like, "Yo, dude, I can't get this thing started." He's like, "Oh, you gotta do this," and then I'm like, and then it would start up. I'm like, "All right, yeah, I got it."
Yeah, he's an expert now, down in Florida.
Yeah, man, he's living the old field guy dreams.
Yeah, dude. I'm glad you're not down there though. You burn. You'd be a tomato 24/7, dude.
Sunscreen's for the weak-minded, my boy.
Sure. Just keep challenging Mother Nature, man. It never works out, man. Like the Titanic, doesn't work out.
Oh, dude, that was the worst sunburn I've ever had in my life. It was the worst, dude. Just fucking.
That's what I thought you were gonna mention when you were like, yeah, some crazy memories. That's the first one I thought of. You walking in, red faced. You probably had sunglasses, tan mark or sunburn around it, just looking like a zombie. Like, all right, I'm gonna go home and lay down for a bit.
Yeah, well, the worst thing was too is like I had all those fucking blisters from the sun, and I remember I went to the bar. It was Luke's birthday. I went to the bar and I was like, I'm gonna have one beer because I'm super dehydrated. I drank like 3-4 waters at the bar.
Good.
I was like, I'm gonna have one beer and I'm gonna bounce out of here. And I'm in the middle of a beer, and this girl was like, "You seem crabby." She was all fucked up. "You seem crabby." I was like, "I'm just super sunburned. I'm really not feeling being out here, but I'm doing it because it's old boy's birthday." And she's like, "Oh, you're sunburnt?" I was like, "Yeah." And I'm wearing a gray shirt. She smacks me and just popped one of those blisters.
Ooh.
And I was like, "Oh my God, dude." I was in so much pain. I just put like half a beer down and just walked out. I was like, "No, I'm done. I am done." Oh, another one I remember though is the time I stayed at the house that you and Ben had. That wasn't when I was an intern. That was like shortly after, but
Yep.
or doing the parade after I was an intern.
Yeah, dude. We did parade, St. Patty's Day parade a couple weeks ago.
Oh no,
that was like the first thought I had of because we had Teague. You ever meet Teague Nadowski?
Yeah.
So he jumped on a little bit to be an intern for some of those parades, similar to you, but it's good stuff.
But at the time, I wasn't an intern. I just did it because I was
right.
like, my boy Chris needs some help here.
Yeah. Need an extra body. It's always a good favor. Appreciate
it. At least it was windy and like cool that day.
Oh yeah, no, that's the best time to wear it. Is any time besides.
And there was a nice
that we play because it's so hot.
There's a nice breeze too coming through the eyes.
Yeah, we got some upgrades to it now, so it's even more of a, I guess, less visually impaired. Of you can't see below here,
right?
And it's super dark, and if there's a right glare, like you're totally blinded. So it's a better suit because of those upgrades for sure.
Do the legs still pop off?
They reinforced it with some thicker Velcro and cleared it off. So that was another upgrade they made.
I just remember one time Weaver getting out of the gator and one of the legs on the back popped off. And I just remember I was sitting on the side because I didn't drive the gator out there. I got picked up on the side. And there was this little kid sitting behind me and the leg popped off. He's like, "Ah!" He freaked out, dude, because his leg came off of Weaver. I could not help but laugh.
No more, man. Shouldn't happen, at least.
That costume though, man, that's a tough one to wear. I thought I was gonna pass out the one time I wore it during the summer because I was super hungover the one time I wore it too.
Of course. You have to say it. We already know. I mean, for God's sake, your podcast is literally named Blitz with Blake, right? It's all good.
Hey, we got to do it. But yeah, I was really hungover, and I remember I had to stand on the side of the road for the firefighters, like holding the boots. But that was awful because in that costume, you can't see like below here. And I was walking off a curb into traffic to get like donations.
You're bopping. I remember.
I'm sweating, and I took the head off, and I was like dry heaving. It was terrible. Not as bad as Paxton's experience though, where you had to run the bases. That would be terrible.
Yeah,
especially in those big feet, dude. Oh man. Oh, what a good time though. The Dockspider was just fun. It was a good time. I feel like when you started for the Dockspiders, I guess did it live up to everything where you're like, this is what I thought it was. This is sick.
Being that it was like the first season, I guess I didn't know what to expect at least. Obviously I worked in minor league sports, worked for collegiate athletics too. but to actually see it like firsthand, opening day, first game ever. Yeah, I guess I never really set any expectations because I didn't know what to set it on. Since I wasn't even from Fondy, I just kind of came in, learned the area, and then I think after the first season, it was definitely kind of, okay, now I've seen it, instead of going to meetings and talking to people that's like, oh yeah, this is what it should look like, because you didn't know because it was still under construction until like opening day.
Right.
I was like, so I think this is what we're trying to do. This is what it's going to look like. And it was just renderings and pictures that you could send them. So then after the first season, it was nice to have some expectations and a little bit more guidance of like, oh, this is what it has been. I think this is some of the things that we left some doors open, or that, the door is slightly open, that we can kind of kick down and go in there and kind of revamp that, or start selling different things, and actually have pictures of outfield wall signs and other advertising pieces and group outings. Because otherwise the biggest line for us was like, we're just like the Timber Rattlers. Like,
right.
If you've been up there, we're going to have in-game promos, and we have these 2 picnic areas. But yeah, I mean, I think first year, obviously, not knowing what it could all be was a good experience, and definitely helped it grow. And second year, obviously, did better, and it's been going up every year, especially the second year winning the championship, and just that second season.
Was the first season? Was the first season electric?
Yeah, I mean, we missed the playoffs. Yeah, I would say opening day was awesome. Giveaways. I think we had our first bobblehead giveaway was towards the end of the year, and it was just like the line was curled around the outfield wall. It was insane. Just because it was the first bobblehead ever for us. And then we just missed the playoffs, I think. We were a few games back, but team-wise, at least, it was good to get the word out there and kind of, again, get some more experience for the guys. Like, hey, this is Fond du Lac, and we had Old Miss guys, so they went back, and we've had Old Miss guys every year now.
Do you have some this year too? This coming year?
Yeah. Yep. So we got a few coming in, and again, they're number 4, number 5 in the nation right now. So they're doing really well, and had a ton of guys last summer on the team. Tim Elko, who's just tearing it up. I think he's got 8 home runs already. He was a 2-year returner for us. And yeah, again, that Zach, the manager, over the last 4 years has really helped build that brand from the player side of things and the community side of things, and really just finds a way to bring in some really good guys and always battles.
Dude, the Fondy faithful love them some Zach Charbonneau.
Yeah. This last year he got tossed, man. He did a classic, like, throw the balls on the field. The news was all there, so they got it all on video and tweeted it out. But yeah, he's competitive. It's good. He's got fire, especially for summer baseball. It's definitely a nice piece to have in a manager, instead of like, oh yeah, this is just summer ball. Like, they're just playing 2.5 months and doing their thing. And he coaches. He definitely gets them better.
He was an interesting guy to me, because I remember, like, there would be times where he would come randomly to the field when I was working on it, and he'd be like, oh, you need help with anything? Like, I'd be like, yeah, sure. Like, it was cool to me, because I was like, traditionally you're not going to see that. And he's out there doing whatever. Like, he'd be like, oh yeah, I wasn't too busy. Figured I'd stop on by. And then all of a sudden he's helping you water the field or something. Or he's telling you like, hey, we're looking for this, or the ground seemed kind of hard last time. Let's, it was interesting to get that feedback, because like I always tried making the playing field like as best I could, given what I had. That one time I had to push mow the infield. That wasn't fun, but
God, that was Marion. Like last 2 years they had our intern is push mowed and put in a design like a baseball, or striped it or something. Kept it short. Zach again kind of had the players had a preference of like keeping it clean.
Yeah. Yep. I always wanted to spray paint designs behind home, but spray paint, that shit's expensive.
Yeah, we got to get a stencil too. I think Brendan had free-handed one first year that turned out pretty nice. It was a DS, but it's pretty slick. It's white with some blue on the inside. But I don't know how he free-handed it. It was impressive.
You can stake it out too. Like if you don't have a stencil, you can use stakes and string, and then you can use like the line painter and
Okay. Sure.
That's another way you can do it.
Did you call him? Did you get that info from him or?
I asked him how he did it, and he said, I use stakes and string. And I said, cool, that's what I was thinking too. And he was like, yep, that's how I did it because I didn't make a stencil. I was like, awesome, man.
It was like one like real small. It was homemade, like printer, like printed on the printer in the office. So it was this big, and Brendan was like, well, I mean, it's not really going to work.
It's this big for a field this fucking big.
Yeah. So I don't know if I think he sprayed it into like the first and third base side or something like that. And then free-handed at DS. But yeah, it was cool. Last couple games or homestand.
So is the 2018 intern group the best intern group you've had?
There's just so many characters. Definitely championship season. That's definitely a memorable piece of it, and scooping out water from the dugouts. I think those were the two biggest memories I have. Especially like being in Duluth. And again, it's just so different. I mean, this last year being in the playoffs, and we hosted 2 games, and that season we only hosted 1. But
it was the first one too.
Yeah, it was huge. I mean, first game and you get home field advantage, and then you kind of go on the road and try to take 1 out of 2. I
just remember the confetti.
Yeah. Did that again this year, and it was, vacuuming it up in the dockyard.
Yeah.
A couple days after that, when we're putting signs away and things like that. Worth it though. Definitely worth it.
It is worth it. I remember a lot of it got on the field, and like it looked so good because I popped one of them, and I'm looking around and I was like, oh, this looks great. Like this looks so good, dude. People are cheering. And then I looked down at the field that I had to clean after the game, and I just saw all this confetti. I was like, God damn it. I didn't even think about that.
I don't think we did. Did we do fireworks that year? I don't think so.
You guys have fireworks?
We had one fireworks show in 2019, and it was kind of like that. There was some shards that you had to pick up on the grass, walk the outfield.
Wow, dude, you guys just did everything cool.
Again, man, it's a learning process. You got to improve on each year, and fireworks went well. People loved them, and like the show was probably the best I've ever seen because you're in Hairbaker Field at Marion University, and they're firing these fireworks off on the little hill in right field, and you're just looking straight up. You're like right under them, and you're like, "Whoa, this is awesome."
That is kind of sweet. I know the Norfolk Tide did it when I was in Virginia my freshman year playing in a summer league down there. They did a really good fire show. Fireworks show. Fire show. Fire shows would be nuts though. You should add that.
Some twirlers.
Yeah, that'd be sweet. So what's on tap for this season? What should we look for in the Fondy Dockspiders?
Yeah, right now we're releasing players. So from that aspect, we got a few Old Miss guys, like 7 returners roughly. Aaron Anderson, this will be his 3rd year, who's playing at Liberty right now, is doing really well. I think he's a top 10 play. He had a great, over the run in left field, ran into the fence and foul territory and caught a ball. I believe that was top 10. He was like the co-player of the week too for his conference. But yeah, a lot of new guys too. We're just starting to release. There's some guys from West Virginia, Kansas. That Sweet Chick, who's the son of the AAA manager for the Brewers, is coming out this summer. 3 local kids, kid from Oshkosh, who goes to Wisconsin, Milwaukee, and one from Waterford, one from Appleton, actually, who goes to Bradley. So it'll definitely, every year you don't know what you're getting, and then they come, and it usually pans out pretty well. From a front office standpoint, I guess more fireworks show we're hoping for. Inflate-A-Maniacs. We haven't released anything officially, but it's like Superstars. Have you seen any of those shows?
No.
It's like big inflatable characters that do little skits. So they're pretty funny. I think the most famous one is when it's a fake umpire, and he basically gets on the guy's mascot's case, and then he ends up like eating them and spitting them back out, and the umpire like runs around in his underwear. But yeah, they got some stuff on YouTube to check out. So that'll be a good one. Tyler's Amazing Balancing Act, if you remember him from All-Star game.
How could I forget Tyler? my best friend.
He's coming out.
Nice.
Girl Scout, Boy Scout night. We got a bunch of stuff that's gearing up. We got some giveaways, bobbleheads. Doing a Sugar Skull bobblehead this year with rebranding the team to the Ronis de Muella de Fond du Lac. So it's
what is that?
Copa series.
Oh, yeah.
So that's going to be really cool. We've got some merch released for that. It's like a lime green, brighter colors, some orange in it, some yellow. So that's going to be a cool night. And then the Sugar Skull bobblehead with that too. So a lot of bobbleheads. I think we held back from doing giveaways last year, obviously because of the limited crowd and baseball in general. And then this year it kind of helped us release them earlier than we're accustomed to, that we usually can, because usually you get the mold and kind of make the decisions in October, and then you get the mold and you get a snapshot of it so you can start releasing it in February. So a lot different this year, where we could actually do it before the new year started and get the word out there that we're doing 4 bobbleheads.
And you guys are doing full crowds this year?
Yep, that's the plan right now. Biden, with his release a couple weeks ago of everyone having the ability to get the vaccine by the end of May, was great news. And we got some time too, obviously, but if CDC guidelines or county guidelines change, they advise us to go another route. Definitely take that into consideration and make the adjustments.
Sounds like a lot on tap this year.
Yeah, no, I mean that's probably only a fourth of it too. There's a bunch of other stuff we're finalizing, and just really looking to get more fans in the stadiums as long as we can have them, and then make the experience kind of what we're into. Instead of last year, we obviously had the on-field promotions, but a lot of the promotions themselves, like giveaways or behind-the-scenes stuff, was taken away.
So you guys still did on-field promotions?
Last year we did, yeah. It was first base side, we had someone, and then third base side, distance them out that way.
Interesting. I wonder. So
all the gear after, the normal stuff.
Like I guess, are you kind of opening it up this year because the fact you couldn't do as much last year? Is that is now kind of an opportunity where it's kind of hoping that you can capitalize on the fact that it's not so much, there wasn't, I guess, as many people at the games last year. So now it's okay, now we can have a full crowd. Now we can do all this stuff. Or is it more just hey, these are just new ideas we're kind of throwing out there, seeing how the Fondy faithful react?
Sure. I think, some of them we had planned for last year, and obviously we were all right, let's scale this back since we're going to have a limited crowd. And then brought them back on this year. So it was, we had more time to plan, I guess, essentially for this season, and say, hey, this is what we were trying to do last year. Let's do it this date this year. let's add this. So I think that's kind of the biggest part. I guess, does that answer the question? Or
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure. That's a great answer, actually. I love that.
Right, yeah, appreciate it.
Yeah, you're just a ball of energy, Chris Ward.
Yeah. No, that's
Fire me
why
up, dude.
I got all this light in my room. That's what gets me, dude. It gets me up in the morning, you know?
So we're gonna wrap it up here in just a second. I just want to do kind of a brief episode and touch on the Northwoods League, because I think the Northwoods League is actually a really important league in my opinion, just because the level of talent that's in the Northwoods League is something that you don't get a lot of other places. And I like to cover it because I was in the league 1 year as an intern, and I think it's interesting because it isn't something that a ton of people outside of the Midwest really take a look at. But unless they go to different schools, obviously, like not in the Midwest, that are Division I universities. But something that I did want to ask you. Is there Fondy Faithful merchandise that's ever going to come out?
We did have a T-shirt last year for the holiday pack.
No kidding. Oh man, they deserve it.
So that was I think we got a few left in the store. But yeah, it was a nice piece, that's for sure. And obviously, we got a few new things going in the merch store and the Uranus gear that I mentioned. So yeah, spicing it up a little bit.
Yeah, it's owning it. Dude, the Fondy Faithful are some of the best people on the planet.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I still talk to Michelle Buck to this day.
Yeah.
Michelle, actually, quite a bit.
She's really good at staying in touch with everybody, player-wise and past interns. That's Michelle, social butterfly.
That she is. I still got a couple pictures of you, me, and Michelle drinking beers together. Yeah. Actually, one more question. How crazy is it that Paxton lived with me for like a week in North Carolina?
I wasn't even. I mean, Paxton out there now. I'm glad he's got a season going, and he was able to stay out there. He was always taking pictures of him at the ballpark for some special event they were doing. But yeah, he was a wizard, that's for sure, for a lot of the stuff and graphics wise. Him it was and Cam, Kyle doing all their
boys content crew.
Yeah, that was good. It definitely helped build the second year, and yeah, I mean the team was great, and I think intern wise, front office wise, like solid.
What about I just thought it was weird because like I'm living in obviously met Paxton in Fond du Lac, Wisconsin, and then 2 years later I'm in just outside of Raleigh, North Carolina.
Yeah, man.
And he's
that's sports. Yeah. That's the beauty of sports. Such a small network, I guess, but it's there's so many teams out there, but it's a small world, that's for sure. I mean, there's guys I interviewed with in normal Corn Belters. That was the first baseball gig. It fell through for me because I was a sophomore and needed internship credit. And it was like one class away from qualifying to be able to get it. So I had to go home and work for the Schaumburg Boomers, an indie ball team in the same league, be kid zone for a summer, and then get to know the front office there and jump on for an internship the next. But I mean, it all worked out. But like some of those guys that interviewed me we were taking a tour of Milwaukee Brewers Stadium like a year after that probably, and it was like he was getting married, and we literally ran into each other. Like his wife was there, and it was like what? And then another guy's working, or he was working for like Erie, like Seawolves. So it's just crazy. You never know. You just kind of search a team like the front office, and you're like, oh, I know that
guy. Yeah, right. It is weird. The sports world is a weird thing, no doubt about that. So what advice do you have as a guy that was grinding all the way up to make it to the point you are? What advice do you have for people out there that are looking to get in the sports industry?
Man, always say yes. It's my biggest thing. Like I just said, the Corn Belters thing, fell through, looked for another opportunity. Like if you really want it, you got to go get something, and there's going to be a bunch of connections. There's a huge network of once you get in one place, they're going to know more people as long as you work your tail off and come to work with a positive attitude, especially through that grind. I mean, you're working 12 plus hour days probably, and then you're turning around the next day and doing another 12-hour day. So you definitely get a lot of stadium brain, but you get really close with the staff and interns, and definitely keep in touch and get to know what they're doing moving forward in their lives, which is awesome. I mean, starting out as a grounds intern, and then you go out and you're starting to sell cars, and you moved out to North Carolina and you're doing the recruiting gig. So yeah, I think that's the best part about working in sports.
Yeah, I got tired of telling kids they're not good enough.
Yawning. Not good? Not a good answer?
No. I yawn because my brain needs oxygen, Chris.
I get it. It's late. It's 9:19,
That actually is late for me. No, yeah, I got tired of telling kids they're not good enough. That's the only reason, well, one of the main reasons I left the scouting world. I mean, it's a whole different world when you start looking at it. Like, you get into it to help kids. That's the mindset. And then it turns out it's like, yeah, but not everyone can go D1. So eventually you got to shit on some kids' dreams. And it's like,
yeah.
But it did make asking people to buy a car way easier, because now it's like, do you want to buy a car or what?
There you go. It all works out.
Yeah, and here I am, podcasting about sports. I've been trying to get you on the show for a while, though.
Yeah, it worked out. I mean, I think first you bailed, and then the other time I bailed, and then finally figured it out.
And we're here. So tell everyone that is either watching live or the people that are going to be listening to this on all podcast platforms, tell them where they can find not only yourself on social media or the Fond du Lac Dockspiders on social media.
Yeah. So dockspiders.com, that's the website. Fond du Lac Dockspiders, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, everything. TikTok, we just got on there. So
it's about to have
been
Weaver
a while.
doing that.
yeah, we got a few Weaver videos on there.
Oh,
but
of course.
Gotta have something new. We gotta add a video. Got some work to do, that's for sure. But we're just testing the waters right now on that one.
Yeah, well, you got it, dude. It's a crazy form of social media. I never thought I would have TikTok, but I got one now. Just for
with your throw out the ball and catch it dance move that you always threw out there on the grounds crew, and they're blaring music while you're tamping or something.
Nah, dude, I don't think the world could handle that move. I can't just throw out the legendary move for everyone to see. No, they can't know all that.
Yeah, no. It's only when you're hyped. Championship season. Kyle Malzahn song's playing the Dockspider anthem. That's when you get going.
Do you guys still play that?
No. I mean, the guys are all gone, so
yeah, I guess
they're gonna be like, "Who is this guy?"
Yeah, right.
This guy's not playing.
Who's Chris Ayers?
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah. I miss
Alex
Mitch Bowe.
Mitch Bowe. Yeah.
Mitch Bowe is my boy, dude.
Yeah, a lot of good players.
I'll have to hit Mitch Bowe up.
Yeah, all right, man. Get him on here.
I need to get Mitch Bowe on the show now. Mitch Bowe, where you at, bud? I'm waiting on Mitch Bowe, Adam Schefter, a couple people to get on the show. If Adam Schefter comes on the show, I'll shoot a brick, but he won't. Michael F. Florio, though, done a show with him.
There you go. We're getting there.
Yeah, it's been a grind, no doubt. Wasn't easy being greasy to get up to mediocre status.
But you're doing what you love, man. That's what's important.
Hey, it's fun. I have a good time doing it. I get to get drunk, talk about sports. Ultimately, that's what it's all about anyway, because I like arguing with some people that are also drunk on my show, though, just to spice up the conversation. But all right, man. Well, I appreciate you coming on. I cannot thank you enough. Check out dockspiders.com, right?
Yeah, you got it.
Dockspiders.com. Go over there and check it out, everyone. This has been Blitz with Blake featuring Chris Ward, the GM of the Fond du Lac Dockspiders. Cannot thank you enough. Thank you for listening so much. I'm buzzed, and we're going to figure it out later. And I'll sign it off like I always do. Do me a favor out there, folks, and take her sleazy.